GoForThe2.com. We're into our Week 2 predictions. We have some marquee matchups in the Big Ten, so let's get right to it. Michigan State traveling to Oregon to take on the third-ranked Oregon Ducks. Look, on paper, it looks like Oregon should dominate. Not so fast. I like Michigan State in this matchup. I like the offensive line, which averages 309 pounds per man. I think they wear down the Oregon defensive front. Connor Cook and Langford, the running back. Can't discount what Mark D'Antonio has done. When you look at 2013, Michigan State a +7 in turnover margin on the road or on a neutral field site until Oregon can prove that they know how to play a smash mouth game like games against Stanford and like Michigan State. I like Michigan State in this matchup. I do not think they will be intimidated, and I think Sparty picks up the victory on the road in Autzen, 6:30 p.m. Saturday night. Let's talk about another game, East Carolina, South Carolina. Conventional wisdom says after that blowout loss at home 52-28 by Kenny Hill and the Texas A&M Aggies, South Carolina and the old ball coach are just going to bounce back with a solid victory against East Carolina. They have a very young secondary, 2 sophomores and a freshman that started last week, a very inexperienced defense, and when you look at Shane Carden and Justin Hardy for East Carolina, a solid quarterback wide receiver duo. Not only that, but East Carolina runs the same type of spread offense that Texas A&M does. They're going to challenge the secondary of South Carolina. I think East Carolina is in this game from start to finish, not sold on what South Carolina has defensively, and from a psychological standpoint, they don't know how to win. So how is this team going to bounce back? And couple that with the fact that Georgia's waiting in the wings in week number 3, I think a lot of pressure on South Carolina. I think Shane Carden and Justin Hardy get the victory in Columbia and really put the Gamecocks on the ropes in week number 2. Let's talk about another matchup. Boise State at home against Colorado State. You watched that matchup last week. Colorado State trailed Colorado. Rivalry game. They were getting outplayed in the first half. In the second half, it was the offensive line by Colorado State and the running back, Dee Hart, the former Alabama star. He was a 5-star high school recruit, got kicked off of Nick Saban's team. Jim McElwain was the OC on Alabama. He knows Dee Hart's skills. He rushed for 139 yards last week. He's a home run hitter. I like Colorado State on the road. When you look at Boise State, they won 12 straight home openers by 35 points per game, but this is not the same Boise State team in years past. This team is slipped in terms of talent-wise. I think they're a mediocre team at best with a new head coach, and I like Colorado State and Jim McElwain. I like what he's building there. They have a very physical offensive line, and I think the Rams pick up the victory on Saturday night. I think it's a 10:30 start, so keep an eye out for that. Another game that I'm going to keep an eye out on is Virginia Tech traveling to the Horseshoe to take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. I know Ohio State came on in the second half against Navy. J.T. Barrett and the offense did come along in the third and fourth quarters in terms of stretching the field. But when you look at this Virginia Tech team, very blue collar. I like what they have at the quarterback position with Brewer, 23 of 30 last week. And a key note that you got to keep an eye out for. Bud Foster, a very solid defensive coordinator, going to go up against a redshirt freshman quarterback in J.T. Barrett. I like that advantage for Virginia Tech because I think Bud Foster gives J.T. Barrett multiple looks, forces him to make reads, and I think Virginia Tech is in this ballgame from start to finish. I think Ohio State might win, but it's only by a field goal. I think Frank Beamer and the Hokies come to play and almost score the possible upset in Columbus. One more game that you have to keep an eye out for, Michigan and Notre Dame. I like Notre Dame at home. I'm not sold on Devin Gardner at the quarterback position for Michigan until he can show me that he's consistent on the road, does not turn the ball over. I like Notre Dame and Everett Golson in this matchup. These games are very close week in and week out, but in the end, I think Notre Dame picks up the victory at home, calling for a 28-21 victory by the Fighting Irish. Stay with me. College football is the best. Should be a great weekend of matchups. Stay with me all season long at GoForThe2.com.